Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to my channel. This is Haitham Amin. I go by Sam. I'm an attorney here in San Francisco, California. I put out a few videos a week, a minimum of 1 to 2 videos, if not more, whenever I have time, to discuss various issues, questions, or inquiries that I receive on social media or YouTube. And before today, rather, we're going to be discussing the celebrating, obviously, the Supreme Court's decision concerning Daca, the deferred action for childhood arrivals. And we will be talking about the issue of Daca in reference or in conjunction with criminal law. And it's a reoccurring theme in my practice, especially being in the Bay Area, California, to have folks that are Daca recipients find themselves in trouble with the law, specifically the criminal courts. If you are a recipient of Daca and you find yourself fighting certain misdemeanors or felonies, you might be, or your status might be in jeopardy here in the United States. Before I dive into more details about the significance of Daca in the criminal arena, I would like to invite you to please, if you haven't already done so, to please subscribe. Of course, like, comment, and share. You can also follow me on my other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and if you have any specific questions, you can private message me or write your question in the comment section, and I promise to get to it in a timely manner whenever I can. Now, back to significance of a criminal conviction for folks that are covered or protected by Daca. As discussed earlier, Daca is a special program that avoids deportation for those specific folks that arrived here at a young age. And it's commonly known as a deferred action for childhood arrivals, abbreviated as Daca. Now, some of the qualifications for those who may qualify and either haven't applied or didn't get around to it. Some of the qualification, it's a laundry list of items, but some of the qualification requires the person applying for Daca not to be considered a threat to national security or public safety, and not be convicted of a felony, a significant misdemeanor, or 3 or more misdemeanors. Now, a felony, the most obvious one of all, is going to be a serious offense that's usually punishable by prison. A significant misdemeanor, it's for purposes of Daca at least, there are certain crimes or offenses that are considered significant. And those offenses, amongst others, are burglaries, domestic violence, sexual abuse or exploitation, unlawful possession of a firearm, like a weapon charge, driving under the influence, commonly known as DUI or DWI, drug distribution, trafficking, and other misdemeanors that are punishable by a sentence of 90 days in custody. 90 days or more in custody. And it actually has to be a served sentence. It can't be a suspended sentence. So for example, if you are convicted of a DUI or domestic violence or weapon charges, and you are sentenced to 90 days in custody, and you go in and you serve your time, then your Daca would be in danger. Your Daca status would be in danger. But if the judge suspends your 90-day sentence and allows you to do, for example, a community service, or allows you to do a combination of classes and probation, then restrictions for DACA does not apply. The other important thing to remember when you're a DACA recipient, and I like to call folks that are non-citizens non-immigrants or non-citizens rather than aliens. So of course the federal law doesn't agree with me and has the code written as aliens, and I don't think anyone is an alien. I think we're all humans. So for folks that are non-immigrants or non-citizens of the United States, one thing to remember as a DACA recipient or non-DACA recipient, when you find yourself in a situation where you are in trouble with the law, where you're facing criminal conviction for a misdemeanor, a significant misdemeanor, or a felony, is you have to hire an attorney that understands the immigration consequences and context of your criminal case. Why is that important? Well, I'll give you a good example. If you hire a criminal defense attorney that's able to resolve your criminal case, that's great. But if that attorney, if he or she is not able to resolve your criminal case in a way that's going to, at the same time, simultaneously protect your immigration status, well, then you just shot yourself in the foot. Because while it's great you may have resolved your criminal case and avoided jail or prison, you may be in a situation where you're now facing deportation or removability of sorts or inadmissibility of sorts. So it is incumbent on immigration attorneys to ask prospective clients their immigration status. Don't be offended by that. It's important to ask these kind of questions to make sure the client is fully protected. At the same time, it's very important to make sure your attorney, your criminal defense attorney, either associates with an immigration attorney or has an immigration attorney in-house that's able to make sure your criminal case is moving or resolving in a way that's beneficial for you and for your to make sure your immigration status is protected. For example, my office, we associate with an immigration attorney, and when we have, and I've handled many cases involving DACA, when we have folks that are non-immigrants or DACA recipients or non-citizens, I always reach out to my immigration counsel and ask her to draft what's known as memorandum of points and authorities that explains to the district attorney's office and to the judge, if necessary, the consequences one will have to suffer if a conviction is ensued in a criminal court. So that helps me, at least my office, to negotiate or resolve the criminal case in a way that's not just advantageous from the penal code's perspective, but also from the immigration perspective. So it's a I guess you can call it's a resolution that's going to holistically protect the client. And that's very, very important for folks with immigration consequences. Whether you are a DACA recipient or non-DACA recipient or without status, or even a green card holder, there are certain offenses that would rescind your green card status. So it's very important to pick the attorney that has immigration background or is able to associate with an immigration attorney to make sure that you're not just resolving your criminal case, but also you are protected from an immigration point of view. And I'll put some resources that I obtained from the USCIS website that would help folks do some research on their own. I'm obviously not an immigration attorney, but I've done enough cases where I can speak on the subject. And as a criminal defense attorney, I'm able to answer, of course, questions related to crimes that will make someone inadmissible or deportable under the USCIS guidelines. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment. I try to put out as many videos as I can, educational videos to help folks understand their rights better. And if you have any specific questions, please feel free to reach out to me privately or write your questions in the comment section, or follow me on my other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. And with that being said, again, thank you for spending a few minutes with me, and I will see you soon. Take care. Being the only person that's advocating in the courtroom on behalf of the accused is a humbling feeling for me. I believe in the tenets of the Constitution, which is innocent until proven guilty, and that carries from day one until the trial date.